Welcome to the DAT Extra podcast. This is Melissa Hart with Dairy Agenda Today. You can listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or on our Dairy Agenda Today YouTube channel, or in the featured video section of Dairy Agenda Today. We recently visited with Elaina Lahmers of Marysville, Ohio. She is a student at the University of Kentucky studying elementary education and a Brown Swiss breeder. We did a feature story on Elaina in the March issue of the Brown Swiss Bulletin. Here's my visit with Elaina. Tell me about your running right now. Are you in training? What are you doing?
Yep, we kind of have 3 seasons. So there's cross country in the fall, indoor track in the winter, and then outdoor track starts in the spring. So you kind of go all year.
Okay, so what are you running in the indoor track?
I normally run the 3K and the 5K.
Okay, and that's what you'll do in the spring too?
Yeah, probably more 5K. They don't have the 3K outdoors. But
which do you like best? You obviously like long distance.
Yeah.
Have you been doing that all along, like since high school?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, more power to you.
Thank you.
What's your longest run?
The longest I've ever done is 13.
Okay, so that's like half marathon, right?
Yeah.
Have you done an actual half marathon, or was the 13 just part of your training?
No, 13 was just part of practice.
Do you ever see yourself as doing a marathon?
I feel like, that's a bucket list thing someday down the road. My mom just did her first marathon this year, so that was cool.
Oh, did she? Where did she do it?
Yep. In Columbus.
My word, I had no idea.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so running runs in the family.
I guess so.
As long as we're talking about school, what made you decide to go to the University of Kentucky?
Honestly, I just really liked it here. I liked that it was like in a city, but not like a super duper busy city. And I liked just the atmosphere, and they're a big agriculture school. Even though I'm not necessarily majoring in agriculture, I still wanted to be able to be involved in things like dairy club and have friends that I could relate to with stuff that related to the farm. And they also had a good teaching program that took all of my college credit plus classes that I did in high school, which was a big thing because it's letting me graduate a year early. So
what is your major then?
Elementary education.
And where do you want to specialize? Is there a grade that you want to teach? What do you want to do?
I like kind of the kindergarten to 2nd grade. The lower elementary is my favorite.
That's where I would go to. They're still cute little kids then.
Exactly.
Wow. So what's your projected graduation date then?
2026. So next school year.
Okay, so then we're talking about job prospects. Are you thinking back home area, wherever you can get a job? What are you thinking?
Honestly, I don't know yet. Eventually, I do want to move closer to back home, but right away, I'm trying to keep my options open. I don't really know where I want to go, so.
Well, with the teacher shortage that we seem to have, which I think is nationwide, you can probably go anywhere you want.
That's the hope, yeah.
If you could choose any place in the United States to go and live, where would that be?
Honestly, I'd still probably go back to Ohio because this far from home is plenty far for me. I like being able to get home in like 3.5 hours and do stuff with my family.
Yeah. So you live in Lexington. Have you gone to any of the horse racing at Keeneland or anything like that?
I have. I go like once a year or once every season just because it's like fun to go with your friends.
And so what's that like? Tell us, because I think a lot of people equate, horse racing, they, think about Louisville, they think about the Kentucky Derby, but the people in Kentucky, they love Keeneland because it's just wonderful. And, we went down for the National Convention, Holstein Convention, and we toured a lot of those thoroughbred farms, which was so much fun. And then we did go to Keeneland, but they weren't racing, they were just practicing. But tell us what that's like to go to Keeneland.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. You kind of get dressed up with all your friends and you go, you pay for like a ticket, which is normally around $10. And you go and you can bet on all the horse racing. And they run races every 30 minutes, maybe less. So you just get to hang out, walk around, see things, take pictures, and then go make bets in between races. so that you have something to look forward to and cheer for while you're watching.
So did you make any bets?
Yeah, I'm not the best at it, but it's fun.
Did you make any money then?
No, I did not.
Oh, darn. Okay. But yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I heard that a lot of the students go and they get all dressed up. So that's cool. Is it spring and fall, or just fall, or just spring?
Yeah, they open up for 3 months in the spring and 3 months in the fall.
Is there a particular day that you all like to go, or is it every day? I don't even know.
I think you can go almost every day. Normally we'll go on like a Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
Once a season, maybe.
Is it crowded?
It can be. If the weather's really nice, then yeah, there's a lot of people there.
Okay.
They also do like a college scholarship day every season, which means all the students get to go for free. And you just have to fill out like a form online, and they'll randomly pick names, basically, and award scholarships that are up to $10,000 to students that are present, which is cool.
That is really cool. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, a $10 ticket, that's not much to go for all that racing, because it starts in the morning, doesn't it? Like 11 in the morning or something?
Yeah, you can stay for all day, which is a really long time, but yeah.
Oh my goodness, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
So let's turn the corner and talk about your Brown Swiss. How did you get into Brown Swiss?
Honestly, they've just always been at the house. They've been there since as long as I can remember. And I've just always loved showing them. They're just personable, and they were always sweet when you're little. And yeah.
Well, your grandparents have Holsteins.
Yep. My dad brought the Swiss in.
Okay, so they've always been around. So how many do you have?
Right now, total, I think we have around 20.
And where are they at, all of them?
So we raise the heifers at our house, and then Ackley's milk our Swiss.
Okay.
Because they're close by, so we can go and check up on them, or show cows, and work with them.
That was my next question. So when you're getting ready to go to the spring show, Ohio State Fair, are you over there every day? How are you guys working that out?
It just kind of depends. Normally in the summer months, we're there at least once a week, just washing and checking up on them, making sure everything's going okay, leading. And then with our heifers, we wash every day. They grow good hair and everything, but cows, you don't have to worry about their hair as much.
Right. So the heifers, tell me about what your routine is with your heifers at home.
In the summer, we help with the feeding, and they become... Our dad takes a lot of the role on during the school year when we're getting up early for school and playing all our sports and everything. But in the summer, it's largely our responsibility as we're getting ready for 4-H shows and state shows, and then eventually national shows. It's a mixture of feeding, bedding, cleaning up the barn, washing or rinsing every day, and practicing leading just to make sure they're looking their best for later in the summer.
Do you have a special ration that you feed the heifers?
Yeah, the younger calves are on grower and starter for obvious reasons. And then as they get older, it's more protein and making sure they're thin enough, but not too thin so that they can still be healthy and get pregnant.
Tell me about your first Brown Swiss cow.
My first calf was my second year in 4-H, because my first year I showed all Holsteins. Some were our own, some were my grandparents. But the second year, I had a Swiss calf that was the right age, and her name was Pretty. And I really grew to love her because she was really sweet. I could work with her. She did well in showmanship. That was the first week I remember showing in the 4-H show at the Ohio State Fair. And it was a lot of fun. And I had other girls at my county fair and in my 4-H group that also showed Swiss. So that was a lot of fun. And then I got to show her the following year, too. So I really loved her and loved showing Swiss kind of from that point forward.
She was the one that helped you fall in love with the Brown Swiss cow.
Yep.
And your sisters, they show as well, right?
Yes, they do.
And they are equally as involved and in love with Brown Swiss cows?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Your dad is a big influence on you girls.
Yep.
Okay, if other youth were wanting to know about the advantages of Brown Swiss, what would you tell them?
I'd say that they're pretty easy to work with for the most part and good-tempered. They're reliable, and ours have been pretty healthy for the majority of the time. So they're just kind of a dependable, sweet breed, which I think is really good for kids. And then as you grow up, it never goes away. You don't stop liking them.
All right. Tell me about your favorite moment with Brown Swiss.
Oh, there have been a few.
Yeah, you guys have done your share of winning, that's for sure. I know I've taken plenty of pictures of you.
Oh, thank you. One is definitely when our cow won Grand Champion of the Open Show at the Ohio State Fair 2 years ago now. It was my senior year of high school, so I had one more year of 4-H, but that was kind of like the year. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time we'd ever won anything like that. And it was really cool. Everybody was really excited. I got to be in the Sale of Champions for the first time. So it was just a really awesome experience.
What was that cow's name?
Brown Velvet Rampage Fall.
Okay, so she was a Rampage daughter.
Yep, she was one of the first ones, actually, I think.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that was just awesome. And I'd worked with her since she was a little calf. We showed her as a fall calf at Louisville, and then at that point, she was a 3-year-old, I believe. So just watching her and how much better she'd become through, like, just her genetics and then our hard work, too, was really awesome to see. And then another one was at Louisville with our cow, Lawson Stracciatella. And she was another one that I just worked with a lot. She's probably my favorite cow right now, honestly. And she's just one that's always kind of in mind. And I've worked with her and watched her grow. And this year she was the grand champion of the junior show at Louisville. So that was really awesome, too.
Did you end up with any nominations?
Yes. Our milking yearling was nominated. Brown Velvet Powerball Flannel. She's actually out of fall.
Where did that prefix come from? Do you
Brown
know?
Velvet?
Yeah.
I actually asked my parents this one time. When they got married and they started buying Swiss together, my mom said she wanted a prefix that would be them, not just all either in my dad's old farm name that he grew up on or in her farm name. So that they kind of made that as like their joint. And we still use my dad's farm's prefix for our Holsteins, which is Lawdale. Mm-hmm. But Brown Velvet's kind of what they decided on for their Swiss.
And your mom's prefix is Wabash Way, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. None of it's the same, so it's totally different. It's not a combination of both of them. It's just Brown Velvet. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Do you like working with your sisters?
Ultimately, yes. It definitely has its ups and downs, but I think it's almost gotten better as we've gotten older, which is good.
Who does what at the shows? Do you all have like specific things that you're delegated to, or do you just all work as a team together? What do you do?
It's kind of all work as a team together. It really depends on everybody's schedules, because if my sister Ava has cross-country practice and Audrey has soccer practice, then I'll, like, pick up the slack on whatever they're doing, and vice versa. If I have somewhere I have to be, then they'll do the same. So it works really well. We can trade off. But when everybody's there, it obviously goes the best.
What are your younger sisters' names and ages?
Ava she just turned 16 not too long ago. Mm-hmm. She's a sophomore in high school. And then Audrey is 14, and she's an 8th grader.
All right. So, yeah, you guys are just right in the thick of it. That's great. So give me some of the standout cows that you're working with right now.
Right now, as far as cows, Lawson Stracciatella, Brown Velvet Powerball Flannel, those are our two main ones. We took both of them to Louisville this year. And then we have a couple yearlings that we're waiting to calve in, which we're excited about.
Are you doing any IVF or anything like that?
Yes, so we did an IVF on Brown Velvet Powerball Fall, and we had some embryos out of her, and we had 2 just born this winter. And then we did one on another cow that we sold a couple months ago now, Brown Velvet Vinny, and that calf is due at the beginning of March.
So you've got some new calves to work with this year?
Yes, we had a lot of heifers this year, which is a really good thing. Or last year, I should say.
You've mentioned that you've been to Louisville. Have you shown at World Dairy Expo?
I have never shown at World Dairy Expo.
Okay, because we know your dad's judged there a lot, but you've never shown, you or your sisters haven't shown there.
No.
Is that on your bucket list?
Yeah, I would like to show there someday. Yeah. It was always hard in high school because it was right at the end of soccer season, so we were in tournament play. So you couldn't really miss a tournament game. Mm-hmm. And then now it's kind of the same thing, but with running in college. So someday I won't have any other things to be at, and I'll be able to just go and enjoy World Dairy Expo the whole time.
Yeah, you can take your vacation days and go do that. Yeah, right. But you've been to Louisville. You've been able to go to those shows without any issue.
Yep.
That's kind of a fun one, too. Have you been to the All-American?
Yes, I went once when I was probably in middle school.
Have you been involved with any judging programs in 4-H?
Yes, I did 4-H judging, and then I did FFA judging. I actually won the state contest my senior year in FFA. I really enjoyed judging. I was going to try to do it in college, and then it just didn't work out. But I'm in dairy club and stuff at the University of Kentucky, but judging there's a lot of travel between cross country and dairy judging in class, so it was hard.
That would be just nearly impossible for anybody to do.
It was impossible for me.
Did you have any bell ringers?
Yes, we have. Not as of recently, but we have in the past. Our Cal Fall was an honorable mention bell ringer in 2020, and then we had a heifer that was a reserve last year.
So as far as being out of college and teaching someplace, hopefully back home in the Buckeye State, do you see yourself continuing with the cattle?
Yeah, I do. I would like to raise or have my own small herd someday. Do some show cattle, and then especially when I have kids, I want them to go up doing the I did, because I really enjoy it and I've learned a lot from it for sure.
So what do you think that does for youth as far as working with cattle?
I think working with cattle is a huge part of the discipline I have in school and in sports. It teaches you a lot about how stuff has to get done even when you don't necessarily want to do it. How some things are out of your control and you just have to live with it and move on, and just how hard work does pay off.
Do you think being raised in the environment with working with cattle and just all of that goes with it, do you think that gave you an advantage as far as schoolwork at University of Kentucky or even in your running career?
Yeah, I think it has. I think it's prepared me more so and it made me tougher, honestly.
I think it gives you more tenacity, right? It just gives you more determination. Like you said, you hit obstacles and you just keep going because you just do. How close did you live to your grandparents, your mom's parents?
We lived about an hour and a half from them. Okay,
did you go over there a lot when you were a kid, and were you involved over there at all, or how did that impact you?
Yeah, we would go over there a lot, and it was like an excuse to see family and work with the cows that weren't at our house. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was little, when I would stay the night at their house, I would get because my grandpa milks 3 times a day at their farm. I would get so excited to go help him milk at midnight because I thought it was so cool. I got to go in the parlor. I got to help. Got to keep past my bedtime. It was just all the best things. So it was always a lot of fun, and farming's always just been a really big part of our family.
There's not a lot of kids that would say that was fun.
I have to do it every day, which probably made it a little easier to be fun.
Yeah, way more fun that way than having to do it every single day. Wow, your grandpa, he's pretty amazing. So you have some great roots there with that family. So tell me about the influence your dad has had on your Brown Swiss career. Obviously, he's the reason that you have Brown Swiss, or largely the reason, but tell me how he has influenced you over the last few years as far as showing cattle and being involved in this industry.
Oh, I mean, immensely. He's a huge part of why we get to do it and why we've had the opportunity to be successful. And yeah, it's amazing. He, like I said, he has a passion for the industry and a passion for the breed, and it's just amazing to see and to be a part of. And he's taught me almost everything I know, so.
Yeah, it's not everybody that has a dad that's a national judge and as accomplished as he is. So, yeah, it's good that you see that, that you appreciate that you can sit back and see what you've grown up with and the influence that you've had. That's good that you value that. Who would you say is your role model?
Both my parents, honestly. I go to them with just about anything and everything, and they really help me when stuff is tough. Just talk through it and figure out what's best. But they tell me when it's just like, oh, well, you got to deal with it and thug it out. It's just the way it's going to be. And so yeah, definitely my parents.
That's great. Okay, let's talk about the show season this year for 2025. You're going to the spring show in Ohio?
Yep.
And how many will you take there?
It's up in the air right now. I would say our string will have at least 10 because we tie with our cousins, and they're almost all in 4-H now. At least my one aunt's kids. So,
how fun is that to be with your cousins?
It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and I know my grandma really enjoys it, and just everybody's there helping out. And now that they've gotten older, everybody helps now. Everybody pitches in, which makes it easier.
And they've had a lot of success with their Holsteins.
They have, yes.
So you'll do your county fair?
Yep, I'll just be assistants this year, but yeah.
Okay.
It's the same week as state fair, so there's a lot of running around that week.
Oh my goodness. If you were going to have any other breed besides Brown Swiss, what would it be?
Holsteins.
Holsteins. Grandpa would be happy about that answer.
Yep.
Okay, let's go through some of these random questions. What's your favorite song right now?
I'm not good about choosing stuff like that. I've been listening to a lot of Megan Maroney, though.
Okay. Your favorite restaurant?
Probably First Watch.
First Watch? I don't even know what that is. Is that a chain?
It's a breakfast place. Yeah, it's a chain. But
what is your favorite place to shop?
There's a good mall called The Summit in Lexington. It's really nice.
Have you ever met anybody famous?
I've met some people that are famous in the running world, but I was actually really jealous. My dad, one year at Madison, got to meet Ellie St. Pierre. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do, yeah. Our Olympic runner, yes.
I couldn't go to Madison that year. I was disappointed. You got to meet her. Really cool.
She seems so down to earth, doesn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
What's your most favorite barn chore?
I like, honestly, washing.
And what's your least?
Clipping.
Who's your favorite celebrity?
Ellie St. Pierre.
Okay, I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
If you could invent something that would make your life easier, what would it be?
Probably something to unload the dishwasher.
How spoiled are we that we've got something that washes the dishes and yet we still don't even want to unload the dishwasher?
Yeah. Or something that automatically dries the dishes. That way they can go right in the cupboard.
I agree. We can put a man on the moon, but we can't make something that folds our laundry after it's out of the dryer and put it away.
Yeah.
What's your favorite social media app?
Probably Instagram.
Mine too. What's a food that everyone else seems to like, but you are just not a fan?
I have two. I guess these are condiments, but mayo and ranch.
Oh, me too. Elaina, I'm with you. I hate ranch dressing.
Yeah, me too.
This has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for your time today.
Yep.
That was Elaina Lahmers of Marysville, Ohio, a Brown Swiss breeder and a student at the University of Kentucky. This is Melissa Hart with Dairy Agenda Today. You can listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, our Dairy Agenda Today YouTube channel, and right here in the featured video section of Dairy Agenda Today. Like, share, and subscribe to our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, and we thank you for listening.